Hi there, I am Kristen and this is Nim. And this class will be a yin yoga class. So it involves slow, deep stretching and lots of props. So our primary prop for this class is going to be the wall. This is wall yin. So go ahead and find a quiet corner of your house where you can spread out along the wall with all of your props. So I have some folded towels, my yoga blocks, and some pillows. And I also have a strap, which I put into a loop already. So all of these props are totally optional, but yin yoga, if you're not familiar, does involve holding poses for an extended amount of time. So we'll be holding each pose that we move through for about 5 minutes. And what the props do is help support our limbs to help our muscles kind of give them a break so that our body can just kind of surrender and melt into the pose. And the stretch can go into our deeper connective tissues and ligaments. So that's the idea of yin, is for that deeper stretch into, we're kind of skipping the superficial muscles of the body and getting into the meatier connective deeper tissues. So with all that being said, if you have your props and your wall, then I think you're ready to get started. So let's go. Find a comfortable seat for yourself, and we'll just take a moment to kind of drop into the present moment before we begin. So go ahead and take an inhale. Exhale, sigh it out of your mouth. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Make some noise. Really just let the whole day go. Inhale. Exhale, sigh. And we will do a little bit of some breathing here to help us start dialing our energy down and relaxing. So you can close your eyes or just softly lower your gaze towards the floor. Get the wiggles out. Take a few rounds of your natural, normal breath. And we're just going to do a few rounds of breathing where we count the breath. Help us get into a good rhythm, and it will help us elongate the breath, which sends signals to the body to relax. So on your next inhale, inhale for a count of 4. Exhale, count of 5. Inhale, count of 4. Exhale, count of 5. Inhale, count of 4. Noticing the natural pause at the top of the inhale. And then exhaling for a count of 5. And just feeling your belly completely empty of breath. Inhale 4. Exhale 5. Inhale, count of 4. Exhale, count of 5. And go ahead and count your inhales and exhales for a few rounds on your own. Still inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 5. Inhaling all the way on the way up, your belly, your ribs, your chest. And exhaling completely. And go ahead and let the counting fall away. Keep taking your rhythmic, elongated breaths. And just notice how you're feeling in your body right now. Notice how you're feeling in your mind. Draw your hands together to your heart center and go ahead and just set a personal intention for your practice. And releasing your hands softly, blinking your eyes open if you had them closed. And we will go ahead and make our way to the wall. So go ahead and shift one of your hips right up against the wall and then lean back as you swing your legs up toward along the wall. So your hips don't have to be totally flush against the wall, but if they are, that's okay. So getting the wiggles out, get comfortable here. And let me get my props closer. And we're gonna start in wall butterfly pose. So you will put the soles of your feet together and slide your feet down the wall so that your knees open. And this can be any amount. You can stay up here, maybe you go in very deeply, and then this is where your props come in handy. So you can use blocks, pillows, whatever you have on hand. Go ahead and make an adjustment to rest your legs up on something so that you can just completely let your leg muscles relax. So the wall and these blocks are holding up my legs, and my muscles are doing very little to maintain this pose. And we will hang out here. And go ahead and take one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and just tune into the rise and fall of your belly and your chest with your breath. Resolving to be still here, finding your expression of the pose, and then committing to just surrendering and relaxing. You can continue to count the breath if that helps give you a nice focus and keeps your mind from wandering. Inhaling for 4, and then exhaling all the way out for 5. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing any tension that might be hanging on in your body. Just inviting your body to ungrip and release, let go. Perhaps as we're hanging out here, you find that your body opens up and you can go in a little bit deeper. You are welcome to make any adjustment and then get back to being still, quiet mind and quiet body. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. And now gently remove your props. Keep them handy, just move them off to the side. And use your hands to push your knees together. Maybe squeeze your knees into your chest and rock a little bit back and forth. And then we will go ahead and extend our legs just right up the wall and let our arms fall to our sides. And again, we're just going to lay here in our V Purikurani pose, legs up the wall. The yin name for this is wall caterpillar pose. And finding stillness. An inversion like this, anytime the legs are higher than the heart, encourages your parasympathetic nervous system to engage, which sends messages to your body to relax. So we're kind of using our body chemistry to our favor right now to capitalize on as much relaxing energy as we can. Again, bringing your awareness back to your breath if your attention starts to wander. You can channel that awareness by just noticing the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. Perhaps counting your inhales and your exhales like we did before. Or perhaps even saying in quietly to yourself on an inhale, and then saying out to yourself on your exhale. Again, relaxing any tension in your body. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Melting into the mat. Just surrendering here. And again, coming out of our pose, hugging your knees into your chest and just rocking here a little bit side to side. And next, we're going to come into our wall squat. So again, extend your legs up the wall and then take your legs about hips width distance apart and then plant your soles of the feet. And these can even actually be a little bit wider than your hips. And you're going to let your knees bend in towards your torso with your soles of your feet planted on the wall. And come in as deeply as you can, keeping your tailbone lengthened towards the floor, maybe resting your hands on your shins or just along the mat by your sides. And if you walk the legs wider, that will intensify and deepen the stretch. And the closer you have your legs together, the less intense this will be. If you need to alleviate a little bit of tension in your hips, you can kind of scoot yourself away from the wall or just stay right up here close to the wall. So anywhere you can get a nice, comfortable hip stretch, maybe a little bit of a lower back stretch. Just lock in there and get ready for our hold. Get comfortable. Relax any tension in your brow, your belly, your jaw. using whatever method you might like to just keep your awareness focused on your breath. And just know that if your mind does wander, that is totally normal. That is what your mind is meant to do. Gently, without judgment, just when you catch yourself with your mind wandering, you can say, "Oh, I'm doing it again." And bring your attention back to your breath. Just a nice, gentle shift of your focus. As we are here in our wall squat, I invite you to go ahead and think of something that you are grateful for in this moment. Anything at all, big or small, just one thing. Releasing tension here in your hips. Inhaling to send breath right down into your hips. Exhaling to let it go. If you feel a sigh welling up in you as you're relaxing here, you are totally welcome to just release that sigh and let it go. Bring your focus back to your breath. Nice long inhales and full exhales. And go ahead and use your hands to push your knees together, hugging your knees into your chest and rocking just a little bit side to side, massaging your lower back on the mat. And next we will come into straddle. So straddle, go ahead and extend your legs back at the wall, and then gently, slowly begin to let your feet fall away from each other, coming into a deep, wide stretch. So if you're super flexible, you might be able to just let your feet flop open and feel great here. But there are others of us who find this to be a little bit intense. So recommendations for modifying this wall straddle would be to take a strap with a loop if you have one, and going and wrapping that kind of around the outside of your feet so that your feet can't fall too far apart, and you can hang out here in our wall straddle. Alternatively, you can use your pillows, perhaps maybe stack up a pillow on a block, and then that can support your leg. That actually feels really wonderful. So go ahead, play around, see whatever you got to do to get a pose that you can hold for, reasonably for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to prop up some blocks on angles, and that feels supportive for me. And once you get into your pose, of course, remember to resolve to be still there, listening to your body, only going in as deep as it feels okay for you. And just let your feet totally relax your whole leg. Your knees can be slightly bent too, if that feels better. And just breathe here. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Relax your hips and your legs. Keep your awareness on your breath. And I invite you to go ahead and think of another thing that you are grateful for today. Take your hands to the outside of your legs and use them to gently push your feet together back up the wall. And you can go ahead again and move your props off to the side. And we will come into wall eye of the needle pose. So we're going to take your right leg, bending the knee and taking your right ankle just below your left knee. Keep that right ankle flexed and then go ahead and just begin to bend that left knee any amount. It might just be a tiny bit before you feel a deep enough stretch in your right hip, and that's totally cool. Maybe you leave your left leg straight and you hang out here. Again, this is about listening to your body and finding a nice pose for yourself to hang out in for 5 minutes. Nothing crazy. So, finding your pose, go ahead and let's get ready. Just do keep your right ankle flexed while we're here. That helps to support the knee. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Inhaling for a count of 4. Exhaling for a count of 5. Inhale 4. Exhale 5. Sticking with that for a little bit on your own. Maybe as you're here, you feel like you can go in a little bit deeper, or maybe you'd like to back out just a little bit. Just an invitation to check in and make an adjustment if you'd like. And go ahead and slowly, gently release the right leg, extending both legs up the wall. And we will go ahead and switch sides. So bend your left knee now, taking the left ankle just below the right knee, flexing that left ankle, staying right here, maybe using the hands to push the left knee away from your torso a little bit, or beginning to bend the right leg any amount, keeping that left ankle flexed, and resolve here to be still. Again, counting the breath, or perhaps saying in on your in breath and out on your exhale. Checking in here to see if maybe your body wants to release the pose and back out of it a little bit, or perhaps come in even a little bit deeper. Making sure that left ankle is still flexed, your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed, and just breathe. And begin to gently, slowly release your legs back up the wall. Give them a stretch and then hug your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. And then gently rolling off to one side. We're going to come into a wall Sphinx pose. So we're going to shimmy so that onto our belly so that our knees kind of line up right against the wall and our shins are flush with the wall. And get snug up there and line up your elbows under your shoulders, roll your shoulders up, and then just kind of arch your back away from the floor. And this invites a little bit of healthy compression into your lower back. But if you have any lower back issues and this doesn't feel pleasant at all, please do skip it. You can go ahead and take a child's pose and meet up with us after this. If the amount of compression feels like a little bit too much, sometimes it's nice to prop a pillow under your pelvis. So you're still getting the full benefit of the pose, but just a little bit muted. So let's go ahead and resolve to be still. We'll do a little bit of a shorter hold here. So just settle in and breathe. Breathing here, focusing on your breath. If at any time you want to take a little rest, you can bring your forehead down to your palms and just release and hang out there as long as you'd like. Otherwise, holding in our wall Sphinx pose for just a little bit longer. If you want to come in even deeper in our wall Sphinx, you can come into wall seal pose, which is where you extend, lift up through the forearms, press through the palms, and deepen the sensation in your lower back. You are more than welcome, no pressure. And we're going to go ahead and release our wall Sphinx pose. So just swing your legs off to one side, Slowly roll up to seated, and we are going to come onto our backs on our mat for some twists. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle my stuff around. You might want to do yours as well. I'm moving just a little bit away from the wall, and again, keeping some props handy just in case you want them for your twist. Go ahead and lower yourself onto your back, and with your knees bent, shift your hips off to the right, and then we're going to send our hips over to the left. So you might want a nice stack of cushions or pillows for your knees to fall on. And your arms can be cactused or just straight out to the sides. If you don't want a prop under your knee, that's okay. If you'd like to take the stretch a little deeper, you can cross your right knee over your left and just breathe here in our twist. Focusing on your breath, still taking full deep inhales and exhales. Go ahead and begin to slowly draw your legs to center, your hips to center, and then shift your hips over to the left, letting your knees fall to the right. Option to have a landing pad of props for the knees or not, and also an option to cross the left knee over the right knee to deepen your twist. Arms in a cactus or straight out to your sides, and go ahead and just melt into this twist. Sending breath into your lower back and your side body. Releasing any tension in your body. And go ahead and think of one last thing that you're super grateful for today. Anything at all. Go ahead and bring your knees, your hips to center, hugging your knees into your chest one last time. Give them a good squeeze. And then extend your legs out on the mat with your palms facing up, arms along your side. And we're just going to take the briefest of shavasanas here. So get the wiggles out, come to stillness. Just notice where your body's connecting with the mat. Kind of tether in, anchor to those spots. As we're laying here, I'll offer our quote from Wayne Dyer. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Very appropriate for a class that we spent almost totally upside down with a new perspective. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Go ahead and bring movement into your fingers and your toes, reaching your arms out overhead, big stretch. Bend the knees, roll off onto your right hand side. Take a moment to give yourself thanks and gratitude for taking this time out for yourself. And then use your left hand to slowly push yourself up to seated. And go ahead and cross at the shins, hands together to the center of your chest, hands to our foreheads, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts, hands to our heart centers, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions, and our hands to our mouths, reminding us to have clear and loving communication, sending out this positive energy to all beings everywhere. Thank you so much for joining. If you are tuning in on the Compass Yoga YouTube channel, please like this video, leave me a comment to let me know how you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos. Enjoy. I hope that you feel relaxed, and I will see you next time.